Okay, welcome everybody. I appreciate everyone who's hopped on to this demo today. And the main purpose is, like I said in the pre-comments to everybody, is that I just wanted to get together, gather as, you guys are mostly probably animation students wanting to learn a little. And I just would like to do this throughout the summer, maybe a couple more times, or every other week or something like that, just to keep the excitement going. I love animation, uh, and that's why I got into it. I didn't do it because, I wanted to make a ton of money or whatever. I just figured that comes when you become good enough. But I just fell in love with animation when I was a kid, growing up in the 70s and 80s. Um, and I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, animation has taken a turn, but also fortunately, because there's a lot of cool tools out there that we can use, and it's pretty exciting. I mainly use Toon Boom. It's the industry standard for creating, high quality animation all the way through um, storyboarding, clear up until finished colored animation output. So that's what I learned on, and that's what I use for the most part. There's many other great programs. I heard great things about TV Paint. I just haven't had the opportunity to use it yet. I'd love to. I know that's what Aaron Blaze uses mostly, and I always promote him because I just love what he's doing, and he is so generous with what he does online. There's so much for everybody to learn. Like when I got into animation, there was basically two schools, three schools if you count the whole world. But there was the Canadian school. What's that called? I forgot already. But what's that called?
Was
Somebody
it
put it in
Sheridan
the,
College?
yeah, Sheridan College. Thank you. Yeah, that's a main, and that's always been a main, outlet. And then there's Cal Arts, and then there's Goblins, I think, from France, I believe. And those were it. If you didn't go there, you're pretty much not, you're on your own. But nowadays, every university in the whole world pretty much has an animation course. Some are better than others, but there's just so much out there and online. All you guys got to do is pay attention, and YouTube, there's so much information. If you really have the inclination and the uh, you put forth the effort, you can learn it. It's just a matter of, the work and time that you got to put in. Okay, that's it. Let's get started. A little bit about myself is I have been animating for 30 years professionally. I started at Warner Brothers Animation. I went to school for animation at Cal Arts, and then my first job was Warner Brother Animation. It was the perfect time to get in. Lion King just came out, and things were just, blowing up. Everybody wanted to copy the success of the Lion King because there was no movie bigger box office wise. I'm talking live action or animated than Lion King. What's that? Who's talking?
I
Go
think there
ahead.
might have been a mistake by the
Uh,
person.
oh, okay. Sorry about that. That's okay. Yeah, just keep it on mute until you want to talk, and you're totally welcome to. But anyways, yeah, Lion King, it just blew up, and everybody wanted to. I mean, DreamWorks came from that, and everybody, Fox in Arizona. And that's when I got in. So it was really exciting. And I learned hand drawn on paper, 2D animation, and then things, of course, as you know, history has gone through a change. And now I pretty much just animate digitally on with Toon Boom on a Cintiq. And I've learned to adapt, and I like it. There are some good things and some bad things, and I'll explain that, later what I think about it. But this is not a class where I'm trying to teach you everything, okay? This isn't even really a class. It's a demo, and it's just a touch base and get to know one another, and I'll answer some questions. I won't get to a whole lot in an hour and a half, I'm just going to take some of the animations that I've been working on my personal animations because those I can share. I can't share other things that I've been doing in a public setting like this. But I can take some of my personal projects, and as I try to finish them, you can, watch me, do that. So I've been working on this heavy set lady dancing. I've been working on in one of the demos that I've been doing to demonstrate, the basics of animating breakdowns of a guy getting up off of a chair, and that's the one we're going to focus on today. Also, a little demo on the flour sack animation shows the process of creating, main poses, and then yeah, and then this karate guy that I've been doing. But I'll draw from those this whole summer as I kind of tie them up and try to finish them. I'll just share. I wanted to have you guys in for the journey, but they take days to finish. It's not like, in an hour I can finish it up for you, but I can take a section and we can do that. All right, before we start, any quick questions? No, it looks
I have a
okay.
question.
Yeah, go ahead,
You said
Morgan.
I actually have a bunch, but I'll start with just one because you said quick questions.
That's all right. It's all
First of
right.
all, first of all, I would like to start. I've been a big fan of you, Mr. Peterson, for
Yeah,
years now. You're a
yeah.
great animator. I also really like the missionary tunes you did. Those
Oh,
are really fun.
oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Um, uh, I have a question. You said that you mostly work digitally with software like Toon Boom.
Yeah,
Software like that is pretty pricey. Is it
yeah.
expected that I just buy that myself, or do studios provide that to you when
Well,
you when they hire you?
if you're gonna work freelance, you better have it, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're working for them, they'll provide it. And
Okay.
sometimes, yeah, because so I was really lucky, right? I'll just tell you my journey of the crossover is there were people who knew me in the industry and loved my work that were on a project and they requested me, and I didn't know how to use Toon Boom, but the whole thing was being made in Toon Boom. It was Green Eggs and Ham for Netflix. And so they brought me on and they said, "Oh yeah, you can learn it." And it wasn't an easy learn. But the two guys, they learned it kind of the same way. And I just jumped in and started my first couple days. All I did was just look at tutorials and try to do my own animation on it. But I was lucky that way. I learned it, and not all of it. I only learned it for using it frame by frame type of animation. A lot of people use Toon Boom animation for the tweening and everything like it's cutouts, and that's not how I teach it or use it, because it doesn't look traditional that way. It looks like a computer did it. So your question is are you expected to buy it? I wouldn't. I wouldn't, or let me put it this way. I'm assuming that they're similar, TV Paint and Toon Boom. I'm assuming they're similar enough to where if you get the like TV Paint, is it cheaper? Does anybody know?
There
It's
are other programs. Sorry.
TV. It's about £800 on a student license if you want to get it for like the whole thing. But
Yeah, and what does that convert into US dollars so I can understand?
1200, $1,300, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
it's about the same.
something to know though, Toon Boom, you can no longer buy a perpetual license. I'm lucky enough to be a perpetual license holder, and I renew it every year,
Uh,
so it works out to be like an
I
Adobe
have that
subscription.
too.
Right, and it's like $400 a year, which works out to be about $50 a month. So I'm doing that myself, but now for new users, it's $140 a month, and it's only subscription now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still think it's worth it. It's an extremely powerful, and it
yeah,
has quality of life features that TV Paint doesn't have. But TV Paint is getting better all the time, and it's way cheaper. So
yeah,
even though it's $1,200, you can at least buy it once and own it.
yeah.
Like so. Just a heads up.
Okay, thanks for that. So I'm not quite sure how to tell you for sure in your situation, okay, Morgan, but um, but yeah, if you are going to work in the industry, the things change all the time. So that's the other problem is different projects use different things, and they do train you if they hire you. But for the most part, if you're going to be in the industry, you should have your own software. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Even if you just have a learning software at first to learn it's a good idea. But I do the same as Blake. I pay every year it's about $400 to renew. And after I bought it once, which is kind of lame, but they say they give you help too when you need it. Okay. That's it. How about let's hop in and I'm going to show you. I'm not an expert on Toon Boom. Okay. I'm just going to show you how I use it. And if you have any questions, let's do it. But the reason why I'm doing this particular subject is that when I went through the course with everybody, there's not a whole lot of time in 6 to 7 weeks to teach everything, right? The very first step, and this is something you should know, is that you want to, oh, let's see, somebody's trying to call me. Um, is that you want to create your idea for the scene and get it to work through poses and drawings, right? That relate to each other. And that's called rough animation. You're just trying to get the timing right, trying to get those right poses there. And that's pretty much where they got to. But it seems like at that point, they really didn't know how to finish it well, or they thought that they were weird that they were taking so long, and so the patience is. So what I want you to see as I finish or try to finish sections of some of these animations that I have, that you're going to see it takes time. Everybody's not a James Baxter who can just whip it up. Uh, it it's it just takes a lot of time sometimes. To go through that process of doing correct breakdowns and then doing correct in-betweens, and how that has to, you don't mindlessly do it. You gotta, every stage, you gotta still be an animator to refine something to make it real professional quality. Okay. Um, I'm gonna show you, I think I have, let's see, let me get rid of the one that I have up, and I'll just show you the ones. I'm going to bring up this. One of my favorite, ways of teaching, doing poses and breakdowns, and creating a scene is a guy getting up off a chair. And that's what this is. And I'll show you. I'm going to share here first. Okay, we're going to go about an hour and a half, and then so that means we only got about an hour and 10 minutes from now. And then after that, I'll just have, final questions, and anybody who wants to show me stuff, we can do that. First, my students who did corrections this week, and then anyone else I'll take as well. Okay, so I've got this guy who I did a pose test with, really. I'll just click through these scenes. A guy gets up, right? And instead of just making him go straight up, you got to do breakdowns of how does he get up? Well, first, in mine here, the main poses are that he looks over, sees something. See that? Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I'll make it as big as I can. So he basically looks up, and this is rough tie down what I did with these poses. And if I take it one more, I usually take it before I hand it in. I'll, do a little bit, more tied down than this usually. So he goes from here to leaning forward to see, whoa, what's that? And then these are main poses, by the way. These are like extreme poses, story point poses. And then he has to get up. He just can't get up. He has to control his weight. So he's going to bring it back, rock back. These are a little bit of breakdowns here. This one's a breakdown, actually. But then he's going to do the action of jumping to get up. I decided not to just get him up, but he's excited. So I'm having him jump. And then he's just he's probably welcoming home his girlfriend or wife or something coming through the door, like, oh, she's home or something. So he goes like that. So to break it down, um, I've assigned them, as you can see, a K. In Toon Boom, you can go over here and click on the frame of the guy, and you can assign him to be a K, which is a key, and so you can also click on this flip that says K, and it'll only show you the keys there, so you can flip through. One of the things that you got to learn early as an animator is that you're nothing as an animator unless you are relating your drawings. And the first thing you got to come up with are these main key story point poses. Okay. From there to there, rock, his anticipation, then he plants, and then oh. Now, then you got to start breaking it down. And so I put bees on so I'm going to flip it with the B's on there, which means breakdowns. Breakdowns are not in betweens. They're actually more keys, but they're sub poses or how you get from one thing to the other. So if I was just going to flip from here to, oh, okay. These are keys, right? Here to there. But if I put a breakdown in there, which is that, and then I flip the breakdown, boom. Now it creates an arc. It's how I get from a main major key, how I'm going to break it down to get there. And the rest are just in betweens, basically. Okay. So this is how you refine movement is you create the keys, then you create breakdown poses that define the movement between those major keys. Because so on this one, I did an under arc, okay, there. And now he's going to do an over arc. If I just take the B off there in the flipping, and then I'm going from this one to the back, right? But how do I get there? Do I do a straight in between? No. I want to create another arc. This is going to be an over arc, which will go boom. See that? Boom, over there. And then he'll dig down, stretch, and oh, that's just beautiful movement, you know? And it's flexible. That's what you're looking to do. So at this point, real quick, does anybody have any questions before I get in and I start to refine these? But that's
So
how it's
I have
broken
a
down.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Elijah Cruz speaking. I've learned about X sheets during my last 3 years of college,
Yeah.
and I still don't quite understand them. Although I understand the modern X sheet, which is the timeline on the program, I still
Mhm.
couldn't quite um, read them. I also know the slope, the time charts that you draw in the corner of your frame. I understand
Yeah.
those, but not the X sheets. So can you?
Yeah.
So
So you understand the timing charts, but not the X sheets.
yeah,
Tell me this. What college are you learning from?
um,
Sheridan?
I I actually graduated from Conestoga College, which is led by the old people from Sheridan a few years
Oh,
back.
okay. Are you learning on paper or are you doing
Uh,
digital?
um, I'm I managed to learn how to do digital, and then I managed to get my hands
Okay.
on Toon Boom, and
All right.
let's not talk about
All
how.
right. I'm going
But
to tell you this on the offset, and then I'm going to ask David Block to tell us a history of the X sheets if he would for a moment. But I'm so sorry, David. But let me just give you this explanation, okay? That in digital, I've learned there's really no X sheets. I mean, you have a timeline here, and I'll show you that. Here, let me just go through um, real quick. See if you look here. See this on the side? I mean, you'll recognize this as it's basically an X sheet that I have here on frame one. I have a
Could you
key.
could you
Oh,
share
I'm
the
not
screen?
sharing, am I? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm sharing. Okay. look here. This is basically your X sheet on digital because here, the one in red here that I'm highlighting, that's the current frame. And if I go to hop down to 19, now I'm on frame 19 and 23. This is basically an X sheet, but it's also just a timeline. You know, you see every single frame here and where each pose, each breakdown hits. See that? And that's what an X sheet is, basically. But we don't, in digital, that is it. We don't really use X sheets anymore like we used to. We just look at this timeline and see where everything is and go from there. All right. Um, so, David, would you mind just giving a brief explanation of what we used to work with on the X sheets and what their purpose was? Because there was descriptions there. There were, they broke down the dialogue, all of that stuff. Would you mind
Right.
just giving a brief explanation?
Okay. So an X
Oh,
sheet was a
by the way, hold on, Dave. Sorry. Let me just introduce David. You guys don't know how prestigious it is to have David here with us. He basically created the Disney TV animation studio. I mean, a lot of his projects and everything. He was the first one. He's a pioneer on that. And uh, he's worked in feature animation for 15 years or so. Is that right, Dave?
20.
20. So, but he's just, and Fox and the Hound was one of his first ones. So everything from then on, he's just a great guest to have here. And I know he didn't want to participate. He just wanted to listen. But I'd love you just to talk to everybody about the X sheet.
Nice to
Okay.
meet you, Dave.
Hi. Hi. So an X sheet is a large piece of paper that represents everything that the animation the process it's going to go through. Everything starts with the X sheet. When the dialogue is first recorded, that recorded vocal is digitally frame by frame. It's phonetically spelled out in a column that says dialogue on it. So you literally, as an animator, you know every frame and how many frames it takes the actor, or in your case, your character, to say a given word. So that it will all be phonetically spelled out by frames of film. Frames of film run through the projector at 24 frames per second. It's 16 frames per foot. So on a single X sheet, you'll have a few feet of film rolled off, and obviously in a given animated film, there are hundreds and hundreds of X sheets that represent everything in that scene. And as many scenes as there are in the film. So you have a column that says dialogue, and that is then given to the animator. He looks at the X sheet and he can see how many feet of film it takes the character to say, "Hello, my name is David." And then he starts working out his animation. If in that scene, it took the character 3 feet of film to say that, then he knows, okay, my scene is 3 feet long. I have to do such and such and such within that framework. And so he starts numbering. You go down the X sheet you have several columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many levels you need to animate. If there are more characters in the scene, then you have to accommodate them. But there's many, many columns, and you literally number your drawings and put them accordingly on the exposure sheet. And that exposure sheet will then stay with that scene of animation and follow it through all the way to camera. And it becomes the roadmap for everything that's going to happen to that scene. The camera moves that are going to happen in that scene, they all have their own specific column on the X sheet for the cameraman to make those calculations. Yeah. Am I leaving anything out?
No, that's a very good explanation, and it just reminded me, Dave, that's they still do that. I mean, they still do that. I mean, this program that I'm showing on the screen on the right, that is basically the X sheet. And you have a column for every level or character or effects or whatever. And it does follow all the way to the end, right? But the and also when I was working on Animaniacs, they still did the track reading and they put it on so you could see it phonetically. But for the
Mhm.
most part, now the only difference is that we scrub through it ourselves and say, okay, this is where we'll put the pose. This is where we'll put the pose for the dialogue. So it's we don't uh, follow it quite as close because we can just scrub it ourselves and just hear it. Oh, that's where that one goes. That's where that one goes. But yeah, thank you, Dave. Let's go back to let me so you all can see again everything he was talking about. Here I titled this one rough 2 because I did a really rough pass before, and this is like my second pass of these poses. Uh, but as you can see, they're all numbered here on the side, and that is basically our X sheet. Okay. And if I put in the in-betweens, see up here, I know this is really kind of hard because these are small icons for you, but I'll just circle it. Up here, you can decide whether you want to flip through just the poses, the in-betweens, and oh no, excuse me, the poses plus the breakdowns plus the in-betweens, which I'm doing right now. And I didn't put many in-betweens. This is still a pose test. So I'm just clicking through it. See, some of these are really rough, but I guess that's what the demo will be today is how do you tie these down. Um, okay. Any questions there? That was a good question about the X sheet, Blake, or no, excuse me, Elijah. Maybe it gets you a little closer to know what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah. Considering we had to use pronouns during when we're doing animation assignments, it's kind of as like it's like I'm given a tool, but I'm not sure how to use it. It's like I'm not.
Scott,
It's like
Yeah.
have they seen Scott, have they seen what an exposure sheet looks like?
Probably not. Probably not. I
You
have
want me
some
to
in
go
the
get
back.
one?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can do
you want
that.
me to go get one?
Do you know how to share? Like or no?
What?
Do you know how to share on Zoom? Like share your screen
or
and show?
I
Okay.
but I can bring one in and hold it up.
Sure, sure. Why don't you get that and I'll start on this showing them. Yeah, please do that.
All right, I'll be back.
Go grab one. All right, guys, let me share my screen and we'll talk through this a little bit. Oh, whoops. Actually, I've got to do I forgot I need to share with optimization. There we go. Okay, so the technique, I don't care what digital program you're using or traditional, you're going to want to take this, this is working. Let me just play it in time for you. See if it plays at speed. Okay. So he looks, that's the actual speed. Okay. And once you time it out and you like it the way it is, then you're going to spend a week tying this thing down, making it look nice and smooth and so forth. So what you
It's
do,
it's it's dropping a lot. It's dropping a lot of drawings for us. So you
oh,
might need to
okay.
just flip
I
through.
don't know as we can do anything about that. So let me let me just get right into what you want to do is you want to half tone this and create a new level that you're going to work on top of, right? So layer properties, let's go. I go to layer properties, I hit advance, and then I go down here to the opacity. And we'll make the opacity like I always put it pretty low so my imagination can still draw over it without tracing, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go down to like 12 and look how light that is. And let's just get rid of the chair or the BG will go way light. So, okay. So I'm going to go,
Back on traditional paper, would this
yeah,
process be done? Would this process be done with just a new piece of paper and a light box?
yeah. No, that's exactly right. Good point. Thanks for bringing that up, Blake. Have you been through that, by the way? Did you get in animation when you're still doing paper? Anyways, yes, you definitely would just put a new sheet of paper on top. If you want it to be more transparent, you just put more pieces of paper on it. And as you, some people make the mistake of tying down a drawing by just tracing. You can't do that. You have to flip it as it's a new entity on top of it. You're drawing shapes, you're creating a character, you're not drawing lines. And that there's nothing that'll kill a drawing if a cleanup artist just traces a line. Okay, so whoops, let's go move this over. I'm going to get my model in front of me. This is a character that I did for a book, and I just use it when I do some of my own fun animations or demos. It's this character right here. I modify him as I go sometimes, but this is the what I'm drawing from. And you really can't flip here. So, and what I don't like about Toon Boom, by the way, is its brushes. They don't have very good brushes. Um, as you can see, it's this pen-like, because it's vector. They want you to, oops, let me get a new level. I will, let's see here, create a new level down here. Uh, I'll make this tie down. And, see, add and close. I like this one called Rough Paper that they have. It's a brush that's called Rough Paper, and it's more traditional, as you can see here. But if you really zoom in, it looks pixelated a little bit. So I can't use that if I'm doing a professional scene. Um, so I have to use this kind of ugly vector line, like this. Let me Also, one thing I gotta do on the X sheet here is this is my tie down level. For some reason in Toon Boom, you have to create the first frame and then drag it all the way down to the end. And that, don't even ask me why, but you have to do that every time. And then you can create poses here, like I'll just do the keys right now. There's 1 and then 23. We got to create that next to it. And we'll do 51. Create that key, and we'll create 66 and 78 and 82. Those are all keys that we're going to duplicate here, or, tie down. 82. All right, we'll go back. So, one thing, let's go back to Dave for a minute. He's probably back. Also, one thing I think they benefit from, and I'm sorry for dragging you in. It's such a treat, I think, for everybody to have you here. What I'm trying to create, Dave, with these just free hop on every other Saturday or something to get-togethers, I kind of want to create, some fun for the people that are interested and a community, kind of like what Ben Washam did for you. Do you want to explain that experience and what it did for you? and then show us
Oh,
the X sheet.
okay. So this is a long, long time ago, before you guys were born. And there was a very wonderful man named Benny Washam, who was one of Chuck Jones's top animators. And raise your hand if you know who Chuck Jones is. Okay.
Me.
So Benny was kind enough to hold free workshops at his home once a week, where he would hand out assignments and give us unbelievable instruction and tell us unbelievable stories about his days at Warner Brothers, which were as funny as the cartoons were. And I had the lucky experience of not only taking his workshop, but getting to know Benny very, very, very well. And it it absolutely kickstarted my career. And although I eventually ended up at Disney and spent most of my career there, my first 3 or 4 years were working for Chuck Jones and Richard Williams, but I owe it all, those first few years, to Benny. He was a wonderful and generous man. So anyway, I did find an X sheet for Elijah, and so very briefly, this scene that I pulled out. Do you guys recall a movie Disney made called Tarzan back in the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we were getting started on Tarzan, and I was going to be working on Jane's father, and he looked like this. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. There. He looked like that.
It's disappearing on us.
You might have to turn off the backdrop of the digital backdrop of your camera.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there, okay.
Okay, I got to stay back, I guess.
Yeah. It's still blurring, blending in the background.
I wonder also if you could, if you share your, oh no, you can't share your screen. I guess that's the only way. How can we make him bigger? We can't really make it bigger, can we? He's just.
I guess not. But all right, now you can. I can see him. Can you see him?
Yeah.
Now I can see him. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, one of the things you do when time will allow is you're getting to know the character, and you do personal tests. You just pull a line from the movie, and you go in and you start playing around with them. So that's what I did with Professor Porter was his name, and I'm going to sit back and hope that this works. So here's the X sheet. So you can see how you can see how big it is. And in the upper columns here, it will have the production number, the footage, how long the scene is, the footage length. Yeah, it has the space for the animator, and the scene number. And then in this case, there's a big space. God darn it! Hold on. There it goes. There's a big space. There's a big space for scene synopsis, and then there's all these. Oh God, this is not technically going well.
I actually have some that I can show, like digitally here. If I can share my screen, then you could explain it a little.
All right.
How about that? Let me share my screen.
Okay.
And because I just Googled I just put X sheet and I Googled it. And,
okay.
And so let me see if I can go.
Oh, bigger. Perfect. No, that's great. That's excellent.
Yeah, let me see if I can get bigger. Nope. Maybe if I put it into download it or something. Let's see.
Right. Okay. So guys, just to give you a clue, so this is for a television production, and the reason I know it's a television production is because there's all these thumbnails over in the action column, and those are in order to help the overseas studio, be it Japanese, Korean, Philippine. That's to hopefully give them some added information as to what's required for the scene. If we were talking about Disney feature animation, there would be none of these thumbnails in the columns because obviously, if we need help from a sheet timer, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, where it says action here, they tell you where to blink. They tell you, somebody who's seasoned animator goes through and puts certain actions in these little thumbnail poses for them to get an idea of how the action's going to be on this left side. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you can see there's all that action written out in great detail. And, it's really animation for idiots. But it ties them down and gives them at least a guideline to follow.
Yeah.
And then in the next column, you see dialogue, and there it is spelled out phonetically, as I explained. It's let's see, am,
Yeah. They don't do
yeah,
it.
but I
They
see
don't
the word
spell it
bug
out.
in there. Yeah, it's all written out, but an animator immediately sees how many frames of film it takes that character to say those words. Every little individual square you see written, lined off, that represents one frame of film, 24 frames a second, 16 frames a foot.
Yeah.
And then in the next column, hold still.
Oh, sorry about that.
In the next column, we have.
Sorry,
I'm not even
trying to
go there. I'm not even going to go there because that's where again you have TV animation, and we have mouth guides.
Yeah.
And so the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that is telling the person over in Korea who can't speak English what mouth shapes to use.
Yeah.
And then as you go further to the right, you have levels 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That would be where I would be writing in my animation. And depending on how many levels of animation that scene requires, that's how many levels I have to figure out and draw and expose for. Yeah. And then the final columns are for somebody else.
Yeah. Well, that's great overall. Thank you. I hope everybody kind of understands that history, and because they still use it and you still have to go. I mean, for Animaniacs, that was just 3 years ago when I was on that show. They still had sheet timers that were doing X sheets, and it was mostly for the overseas animators, but no, that really is really what it's used for mostly these days. Because anytime I get a line of dialogue to animate to, I'm not handed an X sheet anymore like this. I'm just handed the dialogue, and then it's just laid out on next, I can see it. And then down here on here, I'll be able to see the sound where this one doesn't have any, but I will literally be able to scrub right through it and say, well, right here on this frame, he's saying this and he's saying this. And then I just slide them a little until they're on the right one. And that's how my approach at it. They don't really track read for feature animation, for digital hand-drawn animation. At least I haven't been given X sheets that way. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
One or two, if I may ask.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes
who's talking?
in the credit, Morgan. It's Morgan.
Okay. Hi, Morgan.
Hi. Hey. So in the credits for a lot of TV shows, animated TV shows, I see credits for a job called sheet timers. So
yeah, that's what it is.
David just exactly. Okay.
Those people. And there's a show that's still running to this day called Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
It's on the Disney Channel, and I know for a fact because I know the people that are doing the sheet timing. So that sheet that Scott just showed you, that's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they
Thank
still
you.
do it for, especially for overseas animators. That it really helps them, get to the ball, get in the, hit the target better.
Yeah.
They
And
don't
another
even speak the
question.
same language as us sometimes, so they need that help.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, another question that's all related to this. I think I recently have you ever had to animate on a project where you didn't speak the language that the movie was in? Have you ever had to work on? Is that and if so, is that difficult?
I'm trying to think.
It's I have.
Yeah.
I had to do animation for Shanghai Disneyland and
Yeah.
Hong Kong. So I was doing Chinese um, and it works the same way. They still are phonetically spelling out on the X sheet the Chinese, and you're just getting a translation, uh, not on the X sheet, but you know what the scene is trying to say, and it's translated for you, so you know what the character is saying. But yeah, I had the Wicked Queen from Snow White who was speaking in pure Chinese, and um, yeah, but I had the X sheet, so I
Yeah.
knew exactly how to lip sync her up to, even though I didn't speak a word of Chinese.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
There was I had a Mexican project that my company did. That's the first thing we did. And all of because I had about 70, Philippine animators working on it, and they don't speak Spanish. It was a show for Mexico. And they asked me the same thing. Well, I can't do this. And because we didn't have I was the one that I spoke Spanish, right? So I had to go in and did every X sheet for that. Everyone,
Yeah.
because I speak Spanish. Yeah, it was horrible, Dave. That's why I'm bald right now, I think. It took out some years off my life because I had to do a lot of things then. Um, but it's exactly what Dave said. You still listen because they say things with accents and stuff. Um, y- y- yeah, we didn't. You still listen and see how they, hopefully you have access to, the person who gave the performance because you can actually see them, use their mouth. That's always a help, which we did have on that. Um, but I just told them, I said, you can hear what they're saying. I mean, you can hear that mouth open, you can hear that. And so, we did a pretty darn good job. I mean, there was this one scene where it was just right here and the guy was slowly phonetically saying his line and it was just the mouth. I didn't do it, but one of my Philippine animators did, and he just listened and he did it so perfectly. I just couldn't believe it. It was so you just listen, it's still animating. You don't just mouth flap like this, but you got to listen to the way you're saying it.
Yeah, and you make little notations to yourself
Yeah.
on the track reading where there's an accent, so
Yeah.
you know you got to hit that. And but it all comes down to it's just dialogue. Don't overthink it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I'm just going to tie this drawing down here. You can continue to talk and ask questions. Anybody can make comments, but I'm going to go ahead but the most important thing when you're tying something down, I'm not going to clean it up. I'm going to do an animator's like tie down. But this is what I have to work with in Toon Boom. They just have this vector line and it's hard to work with, you know. But the good thing about it is you can go a vector line, you can go way in like this, like close up, and the line quality is perfect. That's why they want it that way. I can't tell the project, and I can't tell you, what it was or what characters it was, but it was I'll say it was a Disney classic character. I just finished last week for um, a Disney World attraction, and they wanted the look of of the old school Xerox, 101 Dalmatians. And so this is the first time they told me, we don't want a clean up line. We want to. So I basically
Like you're on
did.
mute.
Oh, am I? What's that?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that was a mistake. Okay. Anyways, so it was really, really a treat for me to be able to hand them a hang on here. It's hard to do two things at once for me. But it was great that they wanted the wiggly line and everything. So basically I used this tie down tool right here, this brush, which it looks like a marker when you get up close, but when you come out of it, I just try not to go. Okay. And so when I'm tying down, I still animate. So if there's any correction, so I got to relate it to where it's going, which is kind of a weirdness of shapes that happen, and I have to correct that. So once I get my first drawing down, I'm gonna keep, flipping to try and here we go. Let's just tie him down first, and then we'll see where we're at. But you can't just trace lines. And the way that I find that that I can keep myself not just tracing lines is by flipping. Once you get that initial one down, there we go. It helps me keep it alive. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I had a quick question about the X sheets. If you're
Yeah.
outside of the United States, do you use feet or do you use meters in other countries, or is it always just feet?
That's a good question. Yeah, everywhere I've worked deals in feet. It's 16 frames a foot, which, yeah, 16 frames equals a foot of animation. But it's not I don't know if it's a literal foot, a film.
Oh no, it's not that. It's just
Okay.
a term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let me go eraser here, and we'll go a little lower. There we go. Okay. So there we go. But I find that beginners, they don't flip enough. You got to, that's what makes you see and gets you outside of just drawing lines, tracing lines.
So I have a question. This
Yeah.
tie down is still, as you said before, there are some productions that want you to keep kind of like the final drawing, basically look like a nice tie down, kind of loose.
Yeah.
When it comes to productions that want a really precise final drawing, once the
Yeah.
tie down is done, does it then become a matter of like really rigorous tracing, or do you still do you still try to plus the drawing even after to a final?
Most productions want a very clean line, very, very clean line, which is kind of sad. Because that Animaniacs show that I told you about, their new one, if you've seen the reboot, it's a digital, like a cleanup artist will use a digital tool to bend it to get to where it wants to be. So it's not like it's hand drawn all the way. And that is a shame because it really looks dead. In the old
I've seen it.
Animaniacs, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I've seen it, and it's a ha it's good, but have no shamey indeed. Let's just
Yeah,
say.
yeah, that's right. And I actually was on the crew that did some fix-ups for that, and I would draw it by hand. At first they said, "Oh, this is great. This is real animation." That's what the director goes. He was just so excited. And then the tech guy noticed that it wasn't actually perfect lines. They were just a little jittery, which looked great to me. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I thought they were really going to accept it. And then he goes, no, these got to be cleaned up so it's all the same, you know. And I can understand that because the whole movie or the whole, you know, show has that look to it. But I let me finish telling you the story that I was just so I've never had a production like this last one who asked me to take these classic characters from the Jungle Book and say, "Oh, we really want you to have these etchy, scratchy lines as long as it's controlled, you know, like it was back in the day." And so that was just so delightful and fun to be able to. It's, I guess what I'd say, it's kind of like what Aaron Blaze did with his Snow Bear, in that that's traditional digital, which it's still wiggly lines, but very controlled and way better, you know, than something that looks like the computer did. All right, let me see if I
Um,
got, go ahead.
Question is
Yeah.
what you're describing in terms of like the style with the most squiggly lines, is it kind of similar to what Disney movies look like when they use the Xerox process,
Yes.
like Jungle Book? Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
even you know, even Mulan, even all of those have that, just not
Uh,
quite as much. They got
oh.
so, yeah, they actually um, in the 90s and those were really cleaned up, but they were still pencil alive lines.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
Another quick follow-up while you're doing this.
yeah,
We talked during class about how you kind of do a rough and then you have like kind of like somewhere between a rough and a tie down where your drawing is pretty specific. You have the exact mouth you want or you have the exact shape you want. And
yeah,
let's say that you do that because I'm like that too. I take a lot of time with my roughs and they are kind of like quasi tie down.
yeah.
If the tie down is a specific enough drawing where you're like I really want that mouth or I really want that nose, then do you still treat the next drawing, the true tie down, as like you don't want to, you still don't want to be slavish to that drawing even if you like the drawing a lot?
I'm not sure if I understand your question, but if I'm really moving pretty good, I usually just do a rough and then a final tie down that I can hand in. But if I'm struggling a bit, it goes to three different stages. You know, like ones it's really rough, just trying to get the acting. And by the way, I I heard Dave, I learned this from you, and now I teach it. I learned the phrase. Acting pattern. And now I just use it all the time because it's so important that you get the right acting pattern down in that first stage of rough animation, right? And
Mhm.
uh and I'll get up, I'll act it out, and however I need to get just those initial poses right, and then time it out. Then it's just about figuring out how you're going to go from one pose to the next with proper breakdowns. And then
Mhm.
this stage that I'm doing now is just final tie down. I don't know if that answered your question. Do you want to say it again if I didn't, like in a different way?
To rephrase the question,
Yeah.
like I so like I and it might just be the problem with my own workflow.
Okay.
I go from a rough, like a really rough, and I kind of morph the rough. I use the eraser and shave away and add and shave. Like it's
Oh,
not good. These are not good habits. And I kind of like morph the rough into a serviceable drawing that looks more like a tie down. So it's still sloppy, but it's more or less the shape I want. It's more or less the
huh.
drawing I want. So if I work in that way and then I go to a new, which I do what you're doing now, I go to a new layer and I
Yeah.
make a clean drawing, but the drawing under the new layer is already a pretty specific drawing. And I guess the question is that a mistake? Am I making my rough drawings too specific?
Maybe so, you know. You're just trying to find the right solution in every stage. Like this one, when you tie down, you're finding drawing problems that you're trying to, because these are final that you're presenting. And if something's just a little off, like watch, I'll take this off. You can see a little bit of changes I've made in his hair because it's off center. That little part, I just decided to move it over as whoops, there, whoop, where'd it go? There it is. Oh, that's the first pass, by the way. If you want to see a first pass, that's my first pass. Okay. Then it goes to, oh, did I get rid of the tie down? Where's that?
Right.
Oh,
See,
there it
actually,
is.
that phrases the question well. I do what you're doing. Like I fuss with the
Look.
hair shape in the rough, which I guess I
Oh,
shouldn't be doing.
no, not really. You're probably laboring. You can over labor. And sometimes it's just better. You come back the next day and you do an overlay. You see things clearer sometimes when you walk away or take a walk and then come back. But sometimes you can definitely overwork, one drawing. I believe in bridges, A lot of times when I'm struggling on a scene, one bad drawing sometimes it just takes a bridge to get to where you want to go, and and overlay over and overlay. I don't know. Chuck Jones, I think he told us once when he visited, he said he worked on one expression with that dog and cat, like 51 drawings he went through before he got just the right expression. But it's 51 drawings. It's not working on one drawing, 51 different time solutions. So it's probably better to do overlays than it is just to labor over one, drawing that just becomes mud. Does that help at all?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. All right. I
But
think
can I
I'm
just say that your rough pass looks
fun.
relatively clean?
Oh, does it? Okay, well, I have a lot more rough than that, but this would this would be like a hand-in final, and a lot of people work a lot more rough than that. I'm trying to figure out, this is a stage where you don't want to lose volumes. A lot of times, though, it's a cleanup's job. It depends on how good they are, what production you're on. But I usually try to give them everything. In my experience, see, I've never worked at Disney Feature, and that's the one place I know that they have very good cleanup people that almost save your butt sometimes, from what I hear. Let's see, cutter. The good thing about digital, you can move things around too, without having to redraw it.
I always feel so dirty when I use the cutter, but I but I do
Oh
it
yeah.
often.
No, I use it all the time. Because the what we used to do is I would just Xerox things down, or you know. All right. Do you guys flip enough, do you think, in watching me here? I don't even put down lines really unless I flip. So
Not
that
only do
really
I flip
allows you
like a
to see.
maniac,
Okay, good.
not only do I flip like a maniac, but I recommend anyone, if you can afford it, to get this or something like it, a tour box where you can assign your flipping to a wheel, and you can just flip with a wheel. Huge, changed my life.
Let me see.
You
What
need
are
to
you
find
talking
one of
about?
those.
What is it?
I have a tour box, which is a little controller that has all these little doohickeys on them,
What?
and you can assign macros and everything. So right, what I have is as I'm working, I just flip, flip, flip,
Oh,
flip, flip, flip,
you
flip,
toggle.
flip.
Well, I have my
Yeah,
left hand here, and I go from F and G, and it just flips back and
yeah.
forth. Is
I
that?
did F and G for years, and then but assigning, I'm telling you, assigning
You're
it to a
telling me there's a
wheel.
better way?
Oh yes, there's a better way. It's
Wait a second.
incredible.
Let me write this down.
How much do they cost,
So,
Blake?
Dave,
Well,
I
They're a
still
couple
have
hundred
10 to
bucks.
15 years before I retire, so I've got to write these things down.
they're
I have to
pricey,
keep
but
up on it.
they're pricey, but they're worth it. I promise you, they're worth it.
Okay.
It's like $200 or something for
What's
this.
it called?
It's called a tour box. I have the tour
Tour
box Elite
box.
because it has haptic feedback, so every time you flip, it goes like creak, creak, creak. It's a nice little
Oh my
vibration. It feels
gosh.
very good. But anyway, check this out.
Okay.
I have this wheel assigned to next drawing, previous drawing, and then the middle wheel assigned to next frame, previous frame. So you can go by drawing, you can go by frame, and it's really handy. And then
Yeah.
other buttons are like undo and flip canvas and change tools and
Yeah.
everything.
The worst thing about digital is because, I mean, there is nothing, you guys will never know how wonderful it is to in between on paper. There's nothing that matches it. It is precise. I mean, you do that flippers in between, you can go really precise. So lines get so confusing digital here. Sometimes you're like, ah, and there's solutions around that, but how are
Well,
we doing with
try the
time?
tour box and get back to me. I am confident you will like it a lot because I
Okay,
was an
well,
F and G. I was F and G person for years.
yeah, that sounds
Cintiqs and Huion sometimes come with remote controllers that are similar, just to note. But you have to get the more expensive ones, of
I
course,
just
if you want to
never
get the
heard of
controllers.
that.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a whole industry of controllers. The tour box just
Huh.
feels good physically. It's just really nice.
Okay. Okay. So on this one, I don't want to move anything except just his upper body or his head. Let's see here. Go. Okay, we're let me back out a little bit, see where we're at. Who's that here? Yeah, Dave, I'll have to tell you about that last project. It was really fun. I think you'll really
I'm
appreciate it.
glad. That sounds
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, that sounds
it was
great.
super fun. I just can't say it publicly here. All right, looks like his hair is kind of growing, so I'm going to just grab it, pull it down a little. That's a little better.
Mhm.
Okay. But if you don't get these right, your in betweens, there's going to be mistakes throughout. So you got to really make these poses right before you go to the next, or before you start in betweening it, for sure. Okay, let me switch to another one real quick. Um, give you a little variety because we're kind of running out of time. Let me pull up one other. My students have seen all of these, but this one. This one I was surprised. I just pulled up today and I was like, oh man, I've already cleaned a lot of her first part up. Um, it's booting up now. There we go. You guys, now this is an example of clean up, but not like over labored. See how, um, this one's a little more cleaned up where it's ready for color, you know, FG. Let's see if we can get through these. Let me just go through the poses here. Boom, boom. She's super fun to animate because she's got big shapes. Okay, these are just the poses. And I think I got in-betweens on these too done. Let me see. So yeah, as you can see, I didn't do all the in-betweens in rough. You can see the roughs behind her. That was just done in pose tests. Here's the rough column. See these? These were all the rough pose tests here, just with the necessary things to break her movement down. Maybe I should just show that real quick. So there's the rough. Here is played out. Oh yeah, she was really rough. And I'm so confident on her when I'm cleaning her up that I don't have two stages, Blake. This is I go right from the really rough to clean up because I'm pretty confident in these shapes and they're really fun.
Yeah,
But
like those, that's the level that I get my roughs to. They look kind of quasi tied down already. So that's what I was asking about.
okay, all right. Because look at that. I mean, to me, that's pretty rough. All the shapes are there though, and they're
But I
closed
mean,
off. You can
it's got
tell.
specificity though. Like some
Yeah,
of the roughs, like
yeah,
if you look at roughs of like Disney Animator, sometimes it's
yeah.
like just wild scribbles
And they
just
can
getting the
afford to
motion.
do that because they have a team of people that follow up. Some have assistants that will tie down their roughs. But these are the older days. Dave knows all about this, what I'm saying. But everywhere else that I've worked, if you don't tie it down enough for the cleanup artists, they always kind of mess it up. So I take it to a little further level because again, working in other places, I just don't trust we never had, you know, assistants, animation assistants. The only time I ever had an assistant was on Mary Poppins Returns. It's because that studio was run by a ex-Disney person, and he kind of, gave us that luxury is to have people. All right. So yeah, those are tie downs. Um, could you guys in the comment section or excuse me, your chat there, write down things that you want to discuss or learn next time. All right. And I'll see if we can't do a specific demonstration for that. I just wanted to talk to my own students that are on here about, tying down things and cleaning them up. It takes just as much time, even more than your rough animation. So if you think you're odd that it's taking so long or that it takes double the time sometimes, that's normal and it's okay. And you need to have the patience and go through, get those poses working right, and then figure out, how many in betweens and if you're going to slow in on it and how the spacing will be. It just takes time. All right. So maybe what I could do just real quick is let me just go back here and share one more time, and you can see that exposure sheet or the timeline is what I call it digitally, um, on these roughs. Here I had to break it down to get this movement to work right, more broken down. But here, look at this. It's like 10, this one's held for 10. And, it's really just getting the timing right, the posing right before you start finalizing it. Here we go. Boom, boom. And that, honestly, when I start putting in betweens, I think I'm going to find places to make it a little more snappy because that's a little bit even. As she goes across, you can make it just a little more snappy and fun. But the pose test works right. But if you just in between all that pretty even, it would get really soft. And so you got to find places to snap up there, like boing, and then go from there. All right. So we're at an hour and a half almost. So uh, let me take your questions for final. And then I asked some of you, I'm giving the opportunity for anybody who wants to show what they did this week. That's totally okay. And we can go through it.
Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, Samia, you have a question?
Oh, I was wondering if you could also kind of look at mine, the dialogue thing I redid.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Well,
You
emailed it
bet.
to you.
You bet.
Yeah.
Just to make sure you see it, Felicia's asking if you're going to make today's video available on YouTube because she or he, sorry, I don't know, missed it.
Yeah, sure. Are you okay with that, Dave?
What?
If I make it available, this video on YouTube?
I guess.
Is that all right? Okay. So the answer is yes. I'll just put it on YouTube for anybody who missed it. Okay. That'd be fine.
May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Morgan. You said
Hi,
that you
Morgan.
want to show anything. I did some, they're not very good, but I did some doodles of the people's faces during this call. If you want to see those.
Did you?
Great. So that's you and Dave, and that's you again, not very flattering, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Some of the other people, and here's some final ones.
Oh, great.
So yeah, there's a great quote from Chuck Jones that I really
Uh-huh.
take to heart. You have 10,000 bad drawings in you,
Yeah.
get them all out.
That's
So
right.
yeah, and this helps me concentrate. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's fun. And I also anything I want to show you something. The last few weeks I've been very unsatisfied with my drawing abilities, so I got the advice from some people to just. Oh, thank you, Samia. I got the advice to just copy a bunch of artists I admire, so I've been doing that for a few weeks now. And I
Yeah.
recently did this Bugs Bunny based off a drawing from Space Jam by an animator
Oh,
called
great.
Ken Mosey or something like that.
Hey,
I
Ken
want to
that's
show it
Mosier.
off.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mosier.
What
yeah. I
I
want to
what
show
I
off
really
because
like is one thing about doing these classic characters is it really helps you to draw shapes and get that appeal. They're so good at those classic characters like Mickey
yeah,
Mouse, Bugs Bunny, Donald Duck. They just
yeah,
have that roundness and
yeah,
appeal to them that everybody has to learn that, and
yeah,
copying is okay. As long as you're not
yeah,
copying lines, you're copying shapes, how shapes fit
Shapes.
yeah.
into
Yeah.
one another. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, okay, I just want to show it off. Thank you so much for doing this,
Yeah.
by the way.
You
If
bet.
you're
We're
going to
gonna
copy anything, copy from a master.
yeah, good advice.
Yeah, I've also been doing a bunch of Chuck Jones. So this is a copy from Chuck Jones
Oh
himself.
yeah.
Oh,
Here's
that.
Oh, that's
some,
really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
here's I think these two are pretty good. Witch
Yeah.
Hazel and the, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yes, Bugs Bunny is very difficult to draw. Okay, thank you so much for the feedback. Thank you.
He is. Well, if I don't, you guys can't see it. Let me take it down here. But
Morgan, you did your homework, man. Good job.
one of the things that I did,
Thank you.
I was one of the cool things I did in the Philippines. Wasn't your project, Dave? It was the Looney Tunes one. I had a little more, influence on that one, and the first thing I did was to go back and just draw Bugs Bunny from those classic people, you know, and then make that available to everybody. And because I wanted them to feel, because if they look at just the cartoons themselves, somehow it's hard. But if they see lines, if they see energy and fun, and that's how I tried to inspire them. Because these are off model in today's standards, and some of them, like because Bugs Bunny, especially in the feature today, he's got a turnaround and they're very specific and stuff, but that you can't beat these expressions and the poses. They're just, you got to have those in front of you when you're doing that. So, copying, people think that that's cheating. Well, you're learning. Not when you're learning, that's not cheating at all. That's a process. That's learning. And so I actually encourage it, especially for people who are struggling with some of those basic either drawing principles or animation. It's okay to even copy some animation in certain, degrees. Like some of you, I told you to do that flour sack squash and stretch because you were having a hard time controlling that, and when you copied from a master on that one, it really did help you move forward. So good job. All right, anybody else want to share or ask a question?
I updated my amethyst, so I figured at some point I can send that
Ava?
over if we have time. If not, that's okay.
You
Yes,
want
hi.
to show yours?
I would have to email it to you though.
Sure, go ahead. You can do that. Let me just pull up my emails.
Well, if it's all right, I can share mine if I can share my screen.
Sure. You bet. Give you some.
I was hoping not to broadcast it to the world yet, but
Oh,
that's, but things
hey, you
but
don't
things will
have
change.
to. Tell me what you'd like to do because you don't have to. I don't want to pressure you into sharing something you don't want to on public.
Uh, well, because I'm learning a passion project, and it's after doing the final designs, I was a little intimidated because of the way I designed it,
Okay.
and not sure
Yeah.
not sure
If
if I
you do,
can.
if you share, you just have to, I think, ask permission, and I give you permission here. And then you got to hit the optimize for viewing or something on the right side of it. Okay.
Optimize.
Well, if you hit share down on the bottom.
Oh, it says disable participating sharing screen. I don't know who's sharing their
No,
screen
no,
right
no.
now.
Let me do it. Host tools remove from toolbar share settings. Here we go. Um, enter full screen. Choose share all windows. Let's see. Just give me a second here. Huh. Choose individual windows. Share all windows from share button, behavior and meetings. Share entire desktop. Huh. Oh, let me hit advanced. Maybe that'll do it. Share select. Huh. Yeah. Not sure why. So it's not letting you share, huh? Blake, do you want to try to share? Let's see what you get. Oh, yeah, you just got to hit share because I just allowed Blake to share
Oh,
in it.
oh, there it goes. Okay, here it is. Well,
Okay.
set the screen. Are you seeing the right
Okay.
screen?
Yeah.
A lineup.
Yeah, you did a character lineup for your project.
Yeah, yes, I did. And
Okay.
this is a passion project of mine, and I'm doing. I'm unfortunately gonna do this mostly by myself, but
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's too ambitious or it's kind of or it's possible.
Well, this is my experience in that, and I know nobody wants to ever hear this, but it, when you're learning animation and you're trying to, learn specific things, don't make I mean, I would target small things, right? Are you trying to be an animator? Are you trying to be a character designer? Do you know yet?
Um, well, animator, character designer are
Okay.
two of the things I like to do.
All right. All right. Because sometimes when you design your own characters and animate your own characters, you don't learn a whole lot. And so when
I
you're,
would agree with that.
yeah. So when, if you're gonna really want to learn by leaps and bounds, you have got to animate professional designs and do things like in my class we do this simple glance over change of expression like a take. I can't tell you almost every scene I ever animated has a change of expression, going from to learning how to do that take really good. You just do different variations of a character changing his expressions. It's just a sophisticated use of basic principles is what good animation is. It's just doing, using all the basic principles. Really, you learn everything you need to in your first year, probably in the basic principles. You just use them in more sophisticated ways. So I don't want to discourage you from doing your project, okay? But if you
Hmm.
really want to be a good animator or a character designer, you gotta, like I say, you gotta copy from good ones and then it'll come out different in you anyways when you do your own stuff, but you got to learn from the best. Tell me more about your project really quick.
So it's basically about a boy who lo lost his family and his home by
Yeah.
a com com complex and dis complex and dark cult,
Okay.
and that he's born with the powers to change the world.
Yeah.
Like he's That's how strong, that's how powerful he is.
Yeah.
And the story is basically about, inherited responsibility versus
Yeah.
inherited resentment and hatred.
Oh, okay. Is it a school project for you? Like,
Oh, this is more of a passion project for me.
oh, okay.
Um, it's a it's something I had for a long time, but
Yeah.
come never
It,
actually knew exactly. But
great.
I'm kind of on the ball now. What kind of story I wanted to tell. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of doing it, and I
Yeah.
just want your opinion on the designs. Is this too complex? Do I need more anatomy, or is this
Well, I can't answer that at this point because I think it's going to develop over time as you know what I mean? But your style is pretty much just kind of straight. You want to give them a little more attitude for the personality. They do have different sizes. That's great. But I would just say, yeah, keep developing it. But you know, I had a student that every time I gave him an assignment, he would insist on doing his own characters, and but they were never professional, and so he could never really learn to draw better. And so I really insist my unless like I have a student now, Blake, there who he designs wonderful characters, so they're great, you know, and he can work with that because he's had years of experience already. But
mhm.
for yourself, this is fine, right? It's a passion project. You're going to keep doing it, but you really got to learn from great professional designs. And so when you animate, you need to use Tom and Jerry or things that are established that are really good. And then when you do your own, you will find your own voice, but you'll have a better visual vocabulary on cartoon drawing and knowing how to draw hands right and how, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this will develop. So I really don't want to give you advice yet. It's looking all right, but it's definitely not professional, you know. It it looks like a student did it still, but don't take that hard. You just got to keep learning in the business, okay? Anybody else want to say something about that? Dave, did I do okay?
You did great. You did
Okay.
absolutely great.
Okay.
May I say something
Yeah, go ahead,
about
Morgan.
that?
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. Yes, please,
Elijah,
please.
about your project. Yesterday, I watched a video from an animator. His name is Alex Williams.
Oh
To
yeah.
Scott, you may know him. He's
Yeah, we
Yeah,
also a
know
very
him.
well.
we know him
Oh,
pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's great, by the way. Check him out. But
Yeah.
basically, he said that every animator who's a professional should have like the little side passion projects in mind that maybe they want to
Yeah.
do. Just
Yeah.
like have your own stuff, and you can have that on the side while you're working professionally. And
Yeah.
what you said about that you're still developing it, I also have ideas like that.
Yeah.
I have an idea that I'm kind of like anxious about working on because I really want to make sure I know what I'm doing before I work on it. Um, but
Yeah.
what was the point I'm trying to make? Um, Elijah, if you feel really passionate about it, I would just do it. And like if you look back at it like 10 years later, you can just do it again if you want. It's
Yeah. That's true.
remake it. There's currently online a very famous, very popular indie pilot called Gameoverse, and that also started out as an animated short like 10 years ago, and it's like the popular version now is like a remake of that. So like
Mm.
it's possible, and so just keep
Yeah.
at it and keep improving. That would be my
The good
advice.
thing
Keep
about
it up.
or projects on the side, and I encourage it for this reason, and that is when you're first starting out, and let's say you get a job, like my first job was Warner Brothers, and I would get all the B scenes, you know, not the greatest ones, because I was just starting out, so they wouldn't give me, you know, these great acting scenes or anything. I just got smaller things. So I used uh my time for showing them that I could do A scenes, you know, like do so, and I did it through some of my projects, you know, that I had, and I used my time that way. So in that case, it's a good thing. All right, do you want to stop sharing for now, and we'll
Okay.
go to next person who'd like to either
All
share
right,
or ask a
all right,
question? Yeah, we'll go
all right.
till
Thank you.
we'll go till 4 o'clock my time. So we're at 35 now. We got 25 minutes.
I've
Hello.
I've I've emailed something over. If,
Oh, would you like to show something? Okay.
yeah,
All right.
I think Ava also said. Ava, did you email it over?
I did, but if we don't
I've
get to it,
got
that's okay.
Well, we
Okay,
should. You asked, so maybe we should.
Too.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll take.
I already know it's perfect, so
Do you? All right, that's great.
yeah,
Rob,
you'll have no
let's take
notes.
a look here.
It's a bit of audio stuff again, so
So
that's
you
fun, I
did
guess.
some dialogue this
Yeah, it's a
week?
bit done.
Oh,
It's,
good.
it's part of the project though, so
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I see, I see. Here we go. This is a music video, correct? That you've been working on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Tell me if you cannot hear the sound.
It's very loud.
Oh, it's loud. Let me turn it down.
What a terrible mess. Is there a rest when you're the best? What a terrible mess. Is there a rest when you're the best?
What's she singing here?
Like the lyrics.
Yeah, the first part there.
What a terrible mess.
Terrible lesson.
What a terrible mess.
Oh, mess. Okay, terrible mess.
What a terrible mess. Is there a rest when you're the best?
Okay. You got two scenes together then.
What a terrible mess. Is there a rest when you're the best?
Well, it's looking good. Not much I would say. I mean, in the style that you've established here for it.
What a terrible mess. Is there a rest when you're the
So this one, I can't really tell what she's doing when she drops down. Right there.
No, just leave it alone. I'll take care of it. We're almost done here.
So tell me, that second pose there, what is she starting to step down?
She's yeah, I was trying to enunciate the there for us bit, and then it goes like back up.
Okay. That one's just a little vague to me. Let me see here.
terrible mess. Is there a rest?
Yeah, it's like she's almost pointing or something. I don't know. So it seems a little vague right there, like it's not saying anything, or she's about ready to take a step and jump out or something, but she's not, because the next scene she just raises her head, right?
Yeah.
So I would put acting there if I'm not sure. What did you have in mind? You want to show me real quick, like acting wise?
My camera is really fuzzy right now.
It is, but I can see your general. I can see your general.
I'm trying to go for like kind of like exhausted, like like kind of being a bit over dramatic. Like
okay.
And then like looking back up again. But
okay, because that's not what it reads. The first one, she kind of reads, what a terrible mess. And she does it to the side and then up and then. So yeah, you've got to, I think, redraw that.
Okay.
That one pose. It looked like you were kind of struggling through it too. It looks like it's a little labored. On that one, still not quite found its identity, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's still rough right now. I haven't.
Okay, I think this works great. The head to the side, anticipation, then down, but doesn't look like exhausted. It's close. Now I see it. That's the second arm here, right? Or her hoof. And then that one's there. So I think they just need to go, yeah, you need to just, everything needs to say exhausted and limping over.
Like the hair can sag down or something like that.
Something. Yeah, you got to work on that one a little more. There we go.
Gotcha.
All right.
May I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Robin, about the scene you're showing off. I think maybe like in that part where Scott says it's a bit unclear, maybe you can add like a drawing in between those two poses where like the head is like she's rolling her eyes or something. There's no like, yeah, put a little acting there. I don't know. So sorry.
Yeah,
doesn't
make
sense.
There's,
Right.
there's a little bit of training that needs to be done. So
Yeah. Okay.
A
Okay.
little
Great.
more,
Yeah.
more work
Sorry.
on that for sure. All right.
Yeah.
First,
But
we
it
did
looks great,
clap.
by the way. It looks great.
Yeah. Hey, good job, Robin. Appreciate it. Good job. Okay. Let me look here. We got who's next? Ava, did you want to? What did you send?
I sent the amethyst thing that I was working on last time.
Okay.
Otherwise, I do have it on my computer here if you want me to just do it on
No,
my end. I
I
didn't
have it.
realize you gave us sharing permissions. Okay.
Oh,
So
is
It's
it
like
okay to?
90% done. I didn't get the last couple of frames done before class, but it's
It's okay to
90%
share
there.
it with everybody?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Is there a class next week or the week after?
No, this is just going to be a forum. It's just a free place to be, everybody. Let's go for
Okay.
I haven't
Is
really
it?
decided. Go ahead.
Sorry, is this available to download? I kind of have to get going soon.
Yeah, you can go. You can go. You don't have to download it. I'll just put it on YouTube, okay? On my
All right.
channel. Next, let's say 2 weeks from now, everybody. All right, I'll post a link and we'll do 2 weeks from now again.
And if you're interested in a full class, he's going to do another one sometime
in the fall. Yeah,
I'll do your plug for you there.
that's okay. Let's share real quick. There we go. That's a cute character there.
Yeah, I tried to do.
See.
I was doing tie downs. I didn't quite get to the finish, so the finish is a little janky, but that's okay.
Let's see here.
You know you love me.
I don't like the way she's looking at me. Good job.
You know you.
I love Stevie Universe. This is great.
All right, timing wise.
Yeah, I was happy to draw a character I was
All right.
familiar with.
So those who cannot hear, because it's really low.
You know you love me.
She's saying, "You know you love me." So on "You know you love," you got to hold it up longer. He's got to be,
Okay.
"You know you," then "love me," which he comes down. Because it seems like she goes,
You know you love me.
yeah, you go down too early. And I would
You know you
I would still exaggerate that up a little more. You know you, and then really, use a successive breaking of joints here. So you know you love me. So drag it, love me. So, you get a little more animation to it. Okay.
Mm, cool.
All right. That's all I would say is, it needs to go a little higher even, and then you can, drag that head a little bit. So, because right now it just goes straight. It's like straight. And you need to go, you love me, like just have that little drag. So maybe in 2 weeks you can show it again with that. Okay.
I have a quick comment on it. We've been working on this on the Discord, by the way. We've been keeping in touch. Working on this
very
on the
good.
Discord.
Love it. Love it.
So one thing, I do think it's much better. But there's one thing when one of the poses we've been working on. You want to hit this. I'm in the wrong way. You want to hit this pose where this hip is up and this shoulder's up. Hold on, let me aim it. So this hip is up, this shoulder's up. So you're going for this kind of thing with the shoulder forward. Sorry, I can't. I'm left-handed. Now I'm all screwed up. I can't. I do it. All right. So what you do in your animation is when you transfer a hip like this, even though the hip is high, you notice my whole body goes down. Like my whole body moves and then sinks. So you got the whole body that goes like that. What you do in your animation is you're holding the hip really high, like you're suspending the hip, and that's not easy to do. So instead of going, you know you love me, instead of like that, you go, you know you love me, and then change to a different pose. So you hit, finish the transfer of weight. You know you love me. Or I don't know how to get to the last pose. You know you, oh no, actually, like that. Hold on. I got it. Ready? So you go, you know you love me, and then you go down. So you hit the pose, you know you love me. So instead of going and then hold the hip as high on my tippy toe, freeze and then this, it's just hard to do that physically when you act it out. That's all.
Okay, thanks for the suggestion. I'm just gonna flip through it really quick one more time here, so that you can. So he's probably right on those, but all I really see and care about is that I'm looking at her head. So he's right, but you gotta, I want her to physically stretch up higher and have a little higher, space. So she's just not all in this same boom. It's like she pops up and stays up. So maybe it's this feel of you can't just pop and then stay in the same place. You have to gradually, it's just like the bouncing ball. You have to, you can't morph. Oh no, what am I trying to say? Um, is okay, right when you move her up in space, if you look at her head, she just stays there after she pops, right? So you got to gradually, with an in between, it needs to be soft where she, what's the word? It progressively changes shape in space. So you, and then instead of I like the lean forward, by the way. That looks really great. And she's forward like that, but it's just kind of flat feeling. So I would drag her head here, and that's a hard angle to do, which is literally kind of her nose more up and her eyes back. And then you chose a complicated thing. This is not easy to do. You've not got a nice arc there, but without her head just being that same angle. So it needs to progressively travel up, like and then it's got to connect. It has to connect. It can't just pop.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying to have her be like coy and kind of like raise her shoulder, so it's not
you're
it's not
thinking
that
too
her hands
much.
on her shoulder. So I'm
You're
trying to
thinking
do
too much
that,
of
which is probably throwing it
individual
off.
drawings because I like what you're doing. You're right thinking, but think less of individual drawings and more about progressive movement and how. Okay, give it one more shot. I
Okay.
think because
Yes.
it's a really
This
cool
time for sure.
test. Really cool test. Okay. All right, let's get through these others. I know, was it was Benjamin had one. Let's do Benjamin first. And Abraham has one, and Samia sent me something. So, Benjamin, you're okay to share?
Yes, I'm okay with sharing my additional progress on Mr. Dahl taking a drink.
Okay.
For context for everyone else, I am not this is my first time animating, like using Scott's class. So seeing a lot of good comparative pieces. And this is on Procreate as well.
Yeah, and what I love about Benjamin is he is getting the concept of connecting poses, how you do that. And you learn that through the squash and stretch and through the bouncing ball. You really learn how to connect things so they're natural looking on an arc path and how you squash and stretch. Things don't just pop. And that's what I liked him learning. Here we go. And this is Mr. Dull, which means it's just no details and things. It's just a simple character.
And I have not
Great.
finished it, unfortunately.
Yeah. the first part that you finished, I love it. It has a great feel, especially that sigh. Then he comes up, he's, oh, what's that? Oh, wait. There is one thing acting wise that is a little weird. He does look like he's looking at something.
Okay.
So I think I missed that before. I should have caught that. I think you can do it by a change of expression. So he's just having an idea, right? Is that what he's
Correct.
doing?
Yes.
Because it looks like I just saw something on the ground. So the idea, he just needs to look more up, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I just think he needs to look more up, like he's thinking, maybe blink, clink, clink. And then instead of, oh, maybe it's because that's like he sees something like he's wondering, but you need to go, oh, I just remembered I got some water back there. So I would actually change his expression here, like, in kind of a happy idea, like, oh, I remember now. So I would change that so it doesn't look like he's focusing on something on the ground. So I would have him, when I say look up, how would you do that, by the way, with this kind of design?
Hmm. Uh, one way, and I also see that as someone commented, one is like tilting ahead a little bit, like kind of like perking like part of your head up,
Yeah.
because that's also usually an indication of getting an idea of something. For me, whenever I get an idea, I always find myself, like you said, looking up or looking like onto the distance of somewhere like far away.
So you don't want to, whatever it is, you don't want to, because right now he's like, that's what he's doing. And so you want to have, you can even have raise his arm, like, and then he's like this, that's the idea I would do. If it's too high up, you could do this. That's very typical though. you know. But yeah, I would do that. Okay. I would do that. Because right now he just goes up and it's because he's looking down and then he reacts and he's still looking down. So acting wise, that doesn't work. So you have to look up. Yeah. And what I was trying to get at is you can't just raise his eyes up. You have to take the whole head because he's got button eyes. And so you really can't see direction unless you move the whole head. So you have to take the nose and the eyes, everything eye line goes up a little. And then also the hair that's going back a little more. So anything that rotates the head up like that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much, Benjamin. I love it.
Thank you.
I love that you got the principles down so much. If you learn to draw better too, which you will do, that'll just really, because you're getting the movement principles and acting principles down. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been taking.
Sorry, Benjamin, I'm really impressed. Yeah, great job.
I appreciate it. Just for clarity, I'm an accountant by trade, so art is very much like the opposite side of the spectrum of my career.
It sure is.
Which is why I was trying to do something like that. And I'm very similar to Elijah. I also have like dreams of making my own project and stuff like that. But before I do that, like you said, I want to be able to learn how to draw other people. Mr. Doll being one of them. I find him not. I don't find him that dull at all. I think his movements are a lot better than mine.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We're gonna watch. Is it Abraham now?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
That one. I still have the last bit to finish, but I was able to add some more frames in. So.
Okay.
Let's see.
So you just didn't get to the very last part.
Correct.
Okay. Here we go. Hey, I like it. It's simple but clear. By the way, those that don't know, the assignment is Mr. Dole takes a drink. He has to notice the drink first, which is a little take or change of expression. Then he has to grab the drink, take the drink, and then react to it. I love that turn. That's nice. Yeah, nice timing. Yeah, that's great. All I want you to do is finish it up, okay? Because
it
looks nice.
So,
yeah, it's a lot of
Abraham,
fun.
Abraham, by the way, good to meet you. Can I just suggest something? This is just a suggestion, just to
Go
make
ahead.
just to make it funnier. Like near the end, just have him out of nowhere just hit his head on the table, like he just got knocked out, like in the Emperor's New Groove. It's like,
that can be. That's a fun idea. I think let's see here. Boom, grab, zoop, down. We did talk about doing some reaction at the end, right? Like either looking at the audience and, something. You got to have an ending. So it's not just throw it away, but he has to react to it. Like he either loves it, but have him do something at the end, or even an expression that he gets.
Okay.
So it's here, and then he's like, or well, whatever it is, you got to give it a little ending.
I have a very quick, just
Go
draftsmanship
ahead.
note. As the drawings progress, you start with a sphere. His head's on a nice sphere, but as the drawings progress, the head becomes more of like the shape of a Mentos. It becomes like a flattened ovular shape. Like it's so you have to make sure that as his final pose gets to the end, you're really wrapping those shapes around a sphere, and you hold that volume. That's just something you're getting a skew, like it's skewing into a Mentos rather than a sphere.
Okay.
Sure, yeah. That's easy to correct.
Yeah. All right. Very good. One more.
And
Go
just
ahead.
and just for context for the other listeners, Abraham is my brother, so we've been taking the class together.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Samia. You did dialogue and a few changes, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot. I didn't get to like finish everything, but I think that I aim to get the main poses right and the kind of the arc and the movement right
Well,
and the timing.
yeah, like we said in dialogue, the mouth shapes aren't that important. Your acting is the overall what he's doing and hitting things. Let's see what you got here. Okay. Boom. Share. All right.
Check, please.
Okay. All right. Samia, it's so much better than what you had because all you did before was one pose and just moving the mouth. Now
Yeah.
you get it. You put them in a context.
Check, please.
Okay. Let me just give you, and I always, just for everybody, when you critique anything, I don't care what you're teaching or learning, I always believe this. You meet you meet people where they're at. You don't overwhelm them with all of the uh, things they have to correct. Sometimes it's just overwhelming and it's depressing. You meet them where they're at, and she has made a huge, huge stride here by this acting she just did. That is a scene. That there is a scene, and it communicates really well. That there's things you can improve on the animation, and we'll talk about that in the future. Okay, but let's go through it. But that is really important. That I'm going to give you a few tips here, and you guys can chime in if anything that you think will help, because that's what we're here to do is to help. But that, Samia, we're going to give you a round of applause for that change you made and really great. Okay, here we go. So we're going to watch it a few more times.
Check, please.
Okay. So in animation, we try not to move like a robot, and how to loosen this up just by let's overlap the actions. Let's have him not move his head and arm at the same time. So
check, please.
Have him do his little take first around, but his arm will be down, and then he raises his hand and says, "Check, please." So that will break it up so everything doesn't move on the same exact line. So what you have is check, please. You want him to check, please. You want him to move first his head, and then his arm goes up, and then don't just do this. Go break it up a little bit so that it's looser, the arm, so it doesn't just go like this. Unless I missed that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you just basically have it swing it around. Boy, it's up high though, isn't it? So, yeah, I guess it's hard for him to do what I just said. Maybe he could raise a little and then come down. I don't know. You'll have to work with it, but at least
Maybe
do
it's
the. Go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry. Since his arm is already up here, maybe exaggerate the hand a bit more. Like instead of just going straight up and down on the arc, and just drag the hand a bit more.
Yeah, I like the drag idea you just had. That's great. That's almost all you can do because, like I said, if you're going to raise your hand, you're going to break the joints. Boom, 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 boom. But his hand's already there. It's set. It can't do anything but drag. So, oh, there you go. That might be nice, but you might have him go, check, please. Where it's like, zoom, check, please. Where he goes back and check, please. That could be fun. That's an attitude there. Like he's just like, check, please.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that too. Good job, Elijah.
A quick suggestion also on simplification. Like you said, meeting people where they're at, less is more. If the animation, keep the animation very simple. So you have that little hair movement at the very end. But, right now, there's no reason for the hair to move. There is now the head, if the head is moving and you're swishing around, like I have anime hair, you can sort of see, well, whatever of it is left anyway. If I move this way, that's why my hair sweeps, because I throw the hair with my head and it moves. But he's sitting there and he says, check, please. And then his hair kind of moves. And you watch, sorry.
I was going to say, let's first find out was that intentional that you wanted the hair to kind of go like that? Or was it just kind of a mistake?
Oh, yeah, because I wanted him to move his head upwards. So I wanted his hair when he's to kind of go up like that.
Go on then, Blake.
Right. So that's right now the because his head is not moving very much, it's not really reading that there would be enough momentum to throw his hair.
Yeah.
So in this case, if the animation is this simple and the motion is this subtle, he just goes, check, please. Look, watch me. I'll act it out. I say, check, please. My hair doesn't move. So don't move the hair. Don't even bother. Unless there's a reason to do it. That's all I'm saying. So, but now if you want to do something more elaborate and you want to go and he goes check, please, and he swings his hair like that, then you'd have a reason. You'd have a physics reason for the hair to fly like that.
Not only that, but see, you have him moving. I'll show you, but it comes way too late the way you've tried it. So look, you have him turn his head, and then all of a sudden, he even says his line, and then the hair moves. That hair should have moved right as he, but that's one
that's
thing
what I meant by intention. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
That's what I meant by intentionality. Like if you know why that's why I said I misspoke. What I meant was if you know why the hair is moving, you wouldn't put the hair after the dialogue, because the hair is moving because his head moves the hair. If you always animate with an intention, why is this happening, rather than I've seen hair move in anime and I want to make the hair move, rather than why is the hair moving? So how would it be possible for his head to move and then for him to talk and then for his hair to decide to move? So it just always go very simple and abstract and just think why is this happening? That's all I was saying.
Okay, everybody, thank you very much. This was fun. I don't know if it's really beneficial, but I think getting together is, and just talking things out. Let's say 2 weeks from now, same time, unless I announce something else. The only way that I know to do it is just my social media announcements. So I'll do that again, and you guys can hop on when you want. And then I was going to say,
hi.
Yeah, hi. Who's there?
Hi, Scott.
Renata.
My name is Renata, and I'm not first. My English is not very good. I'm from Brazil, but I not your student, but I would like to share an animation, one of my animations with you for receive feedback.
Sure.
Is that good?
Yes, we'll do. This will be the last one, and then you got to save it for next time, whoever else. But yeah, do you want to email it to me, or do you want to share your screen?
I send email to you.
Okay. Oh, you already did. I see. Okay, let me download it. Okay, and you're from Brazil, and I can tell by your drawings you already have a lot of experience, because just your drawing alone looks really great.
Thank
So let me share. Tell me your background real quick for everybody to know you a little bit.
So, um, I love animation so much.
Yeah.
And I studied animation by myself
Uh-huh.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And my inspirations are Aaron Blaze, James Baxter, and you. You is a very good inspiration for me.
Thank you.
And I work in the industry. I work in animation industry. Sorry.
Industry.
Here in Brazil, and I want to improve more my
Yeah.
acting in my drawings, and I think you will help me a lot. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well,
sorry,
let's
I'm
take a
very
look at
timid.
this. Oh, you have no need to be. You're among friends, okay? Here we go.
Okay.
Um, okay. Uh, this looks great. Your drawings are really solid. You understand creating the pose test and being consistent. Um, there's a nice take there. That's the one thing we were learning in our class this year was how to do a nice take. And that take there is really good. Nice
Oh,
arc.
thank you.
You're not afraid of the timing, like snappy timing. I love that. So everybody can learn from that right there, especially at the first, before it hit that, it seemed to me like it was a little bit slow and even, but I don't know the story. So let me just play it here.
So there's a personal character of mine. His name is Kaliel, and he is studying this ball, and suddenly he see a bad spirit, and he try to protect this ball.
Yeah.
This ball have magical properties.
Okay. I'm going to change my headphones here because my one just ran out of batteries. Okay. So, yeah, you got to the point where your drawings are really solid. You're animating right. So this is a director's choice. What timing wise, I think it is a little even timing and a little slow at the beginning. If you're going to put this on your
Okay.
reel, even that it's just a little bit even, all of these. So I love this ending part right there. I love that. Great timing. But here, even even if you're trying to go slow, I think you're spending too much time on certain things.
Right.
I think it's all too slow. Okay, right there. So I would go, see that? I would go a little more snappy up, and then you can. So what's your name again? Let's see. It's
Renata.
Renata. Is that right?
Yes.
I would. Let me share one more time. I would spend a little less time in the in-between parts and put that time on the ends where the poses are. So in other words, it can be the same length of the scene, but you're spending too much time on everything being even. So I think as you go through here, he can hold this for a bit and then he can blink and then kind of snap up a little faster and hold it. Blink, hold that. I just think you can find places to trim it up, like even in here. So that everything isn't so even at the beginning. All right. Because it really is boring us a little. So you have to have a little bit snappier timing as he thinks and looks. Okay. It doesn't mean that the scene has to be shorter. It just means that your poses will read longer with less even timing in between those things. Okay.
Okay.
Can I just quickly say this is really,
Does
really
that make
beautiful
sense,
work.
Renata?
Yes, this makes sense.
Maybe
But I have to variate
is
more
your
my
audio
timing,
off or something?
not
Hopefully. There is one other option in, I don't know how this works, but in Zoom, it gives you the option to have translation as well. I don't know if anybody's ever tried that. You can pick a language and we can do that sometime. But I think
yeah.
obviously, Renata, I think you're muted or your sound's not working because we can't hear you.
I can hear her. I think
I
it's
can
Or
on
hear
your
her.
end.
Yeah,
you
we hear
you
her.
you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Hopefully you
you.
We
can
can hear
hear
you.
us. Could
Yeah.
you make a comment in the chat maybe to see if you can
Scott,
hear
can you
I
hear
think,
what
any
I'm
of us?
saying at all?
yeah, it
Oh,
might
can
be
you
the
hear
case that
any of
you're on mute,
us?
Scott.
Oh, I don't think he can
Oh,
hear
there she
us.
is.
Yeah, I think Scott's on mute.
Oh, Michael, you can hear? I can hear. Oh, I can't even hear.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sometimes technology betrays you, and that's just how it is.
How about now? Can you talk? Uh,
Hi.
oh, now I can hear you.
Oh
I
yeah.
changed my earphones. Were you able to hear me though?
Yes, yes, I hear you.
Oh,
And
I'm so
I
sorry for
hear.
that. Okay. That was
So
weird.
I
Uh,
have to variate more in my timing. My
yeah.
time is very even.
Yeah, it is. But it's just those little. Okay, one thing I'm a big proponent of, and I try to teach my students, is you don't even timing throughout, else you're going to bore your audience. So you don't have to make the length of your scene shorter. I mean, although you probably could. It's it's these little parts in between that you're spending too much even timing, right?
Oh,
So
right.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Do you think you understand what I'm saying on that?
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
understand. Thank you
and
very
and
much.
and he'll come more alive, and it doesn't mean he has to be quick. It just take some of those in betweens, make them shorter, so he gets to those poses, and then spend that time more on the ends where the poses are.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I just have to
Thank.
say
Yeah.
it's really beautiful work. It's amazing. Very,
Yeah.
very great
It is
drawings. Great. I
inspiring.
who worked on a project with goat people, the way that you graphically simplified the horns is like brilliant. That's a very smart design, like very smart. I'm really actually so jealous. I wish I thought of that strategy to simplify the horns. But I only had one thing to say, and this is subjective. If the character, I don't know the character's personality, but if the character is afraid or really concerned by that spirit at the end, that final pose, he doesn't look afraid. I would just push his facial expression to make him actually look afraid or look concerned because he looks kind of like it's not a big deal.
Oh,
That's just
right.
subjective though.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Oh, I have an
Well,
idea. If
she's
I
got
may
it
say something.
there.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly. Like the big giant take, he looks like
yeah,
it's really scared him,
yeah, a
and
little
then he's
bit
just like
better.
and he's kind of like, I'm not that scared, you
And
know.
the
So
mouth is just a little oversimplified. I think you can do a little bit better uh, design in the mouth and teeth here, especially if you are going for that other expression. Wouldn't take much to change it.
yeah, and the
Yeah,
eyebrows and the eyes, like there should be concern in the eyes and the
yeah,
eyebrows,
Right.
but on the wrinkly nose, maybe you can take this, but I mean, everything else is very reading
yeah.
great, very strong.
Great,
That's the only
awesome.
thing that jumped out to me.
Thanks for
Oh,
being
thank you
part
very
of our group
much.
today, Renata. You really ended us well with a wonderful, inspiring little test there. Thank you. All right.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you very
You bet.
much. It
So we're going to do this
was a
again in
pleasure.
2 weeks. Okay. 2 weeks. If you want to prepare something to show, I need to do more showing myself though. We always get in these great discussions, but I'll try to do more demoing. Okay. We'll talk to you guys later. Did I miss anything in the comments? You can't really copy them. That's the problem. Let's see here. Okay. We'll just reset again in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Good job, everyone.